Everybody. Good morning, everybody. This has all the makings to be a short meeting, so let's see if we can make that happen so we can all get to work. Can we do a call to order first, please?
Born here.
Cabrera here.
Gamelke here.
Jones here.
Mijares here.
Jerry Good is not here and Arlen Weatherford is not here. Can we do the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Does anybody have any additions, deletions, or corrections to the agenda?
Born moves to approve the minutes of the May 13th meeting as written.
Cabrera second.
Just so you guys know on that, we did not have any audio from last month.
Oh,
So there was no recorded audio and we missed that, which is fine. And so I believe Anita went through and with the help of a couple of others, they made some phone calls in brain memory and just tried to come up with an overall assessment of what we said, what was going on. So that's why it's so short.
I see.
And Al read it this morning and approved it. We do have recording today. We've checked. And so hopefully, and I actually had a couple of people come up to me and said that they tried to watch on Zoom and there was no audio.
No audio.
So that's the first I had heard of it. So anyway, that's why it's so short. So thank you, Al, for approving those. Do we have to go through and do, and you already seconded it?
Mhm.
So we need to do, does everybody approve the minutes? Does everybody go with that?
Born, yes.
Cabrera, yes.
Gamelke, yes.
Jones, yes.
Mijares, yes.
Thank you. Is there any unfinished business? Anybody got? Going fast. It is. Mark, could you give us a TAVA update, please? Good morning, Mary.
Good morning.
Obviously, we've got a lot of rain that stalls out some construction there has got a face. We've got seed that was planted last week or week before. And hopefully the rain helps it. But doesn't wash away.
You're not, I don't think you're mic'd.
All right, got it. You want me to repeat that?
No.
Okay, all right. Good. Lots of rain, a little bit of a stall. That's what we're dealing with. All right, and they're gonna start running interior plumbing lines. That's next up here in the next week or two. So it's moving forward. It's just grinding away. Could I ask for, Chair, if I could get a response to our request for the grant monies, the appeal for helping with CDOT
So
costs?
we kind of discussed that we'd like, you can ask for possibly a general, we don't want to take a vote on it today. We want,
Okay,
there's a little bit more of a bigger picture that
Mhm.
that's being looked at by the city and by others first.
okay,
And so we wanted to get all the pieces of the pie together before we made a decision.
Okay.
In talking to the lawyer and just the feel, we felt like
Mhm.
a month was just a little too short of a time
okay,
to try to get a definitive answer on that. And
Yeah.
I'm not trying to set you back. I'm
Mhm.
certainly not. I
Nope.
know you guys are gonna roll forward either
Mhm.
way.
We have to roll,
And
yeah.
we appreciate that. We're not trying to throw a wrench in there at all.
Okay,
I've just been asked by people that have a lot more knowledge of this whole situation
Mhm.
than I do to see if we can get another month before we make a definitive decision. on
Okay.
that.
all right.
And is that okay with you?
Sure.
It's certainly, that's just where we gotta go with it right now.
Yeah, and you nailed it, Chairman, that we've got to just keep pressing forward and
Yes.
rolling if we're gonna hit our timeline.
Yeah.
So that's what we're gonna do.
And I have stated that as such, in those that asked, I said that it's imperative that we stay on a timely
Mhm.
timeline, that we not hold up the project. And
Yep.
that was heard and received and
Okay.
and acknowledged.
Okay,
So I did state that,
okay. Well, if there's anything we can help with or give input, just let us know.
yeah.
Okay.
And I hope, I'm not apologizing.
Uh-uh.
The government, the way that it moves is much slower than I would like. Let's put it that way. And there's a
Mhm.
lot of moving parts. And I do understand that. There's a lot going on
There
that
is.
I don't see. So.
Okay,
all
very
right,
good.
Mark,
Thank you for
sir.
that reply. Yes. It's great. Okay,
Does anybody have anything to add to the?
Yeah, I just have a couple questions for
sure.
you, Mr. Weir, if you don't
Yeah.
mind.
Yeah.
So in my absence, I got the packet of what your ask is.
Yes.
Can I ask you what that total project would cost? for
All those
the-
CDOT improvements, the total? Well, we don't have a formal bid
Sure.
yet, so this has an asterisk by it a
Okay.
bit, but it'll be 5 to 550 is what we think.
Okay. And your guys' ask was,
400. Up to 400, yeah.
okay, which is significantly lower than what the total project is, which,
Oh, yeah. It's,
so again, you guys are showing good faith by partnering and
Mhm.
putting more of your personal money in to help with the CDOT project
Yep.
and infrastructure. Again, I commend you guys for always being there to support everybody that's stepping in, that
Mhm.
might be a roadblock for you if you
Sure.
and still willing to, fund out of pocket, which is remarkable
Yep.
from what you guys are doing.
Well, thank you.
Just out of curiosity, why didn't you, shoot for the possible total amount?
We thought that 400,000 was a reasonable ask.
Okay.
If I had it to do over again, I would bump it back up because over the weeks, input comes in about the real cost. And
Sure.
remember, we're dealing with CDOT in this,
Yeah.
and there's determinations that they have that they want us to do that we have been working with our engineer to try to minimize that cost, but we may not be able to.
Okay.
Just because of the construction constraints.
Sure. Okay, yeah, that's really the only questions I have right now. And like I said, I commend you guys for really financially partnering with everybody that's coming your way. It's a feat in itself.
Thank you, sir.
And then I have one, if I can
Please.
add to that. Originally, you guys did not want to ask for a TIF deal,
Mhm.
and certainly nobody's pushing for that.
Mm.
Are you open to that? If that were a way that this could be funded, are you guys open to maybe rethinking that, at least on this part of the project, or has that been in discussion?
It's a consideration. Remember, we said we want to do the project without TIF, so
Yeah.
we're trying to hold to that. But if we can't do the grant appeal, we will look at that as an option
Okay,
going forward.
okay,
But that'll take time and Board Member Al, Mr. Bourne, we'll need to submit a TIF application and that'll take some time to make that determination. So what we're doing, y'all, is just proceeding on like we're not going to get anything and hope that we do. Because we just can't wait on the process, the governmental process to make these determinations.
mhm.
Did that answer? your
Yes,
question?
yes, thank you.
Okay.
I just wanted to get it out there so people knew that it was even part of the discussion
Yes.
or possibility.
Yep.
George, do you have any?
No, I'm good. Thank you.
Okay.
Anybody else have any questions on that? Al? Al, what is the process? I mean, there certainly haven't, if they chose to do the TIF, they certainly haven't missed any timelines on that, correct? Okay. All right,
It's probably just more of a timing when the funds are available. Whether we do the grant or we do the TIF. Because the TIF is not paid out until after property tax is collected.
yes,
Where a grant, then those funds are right up front.
Yes, but in keeping that discussion and with the TIF, it could literally pay for the whole project. Like it could pay, if it was 570,000, then it could pay for the 570,000 versus the $400,000 ask.
Sure,
Okay.
based upon the timeline that the TIF would be available.
And we would need to look at that also, because if we're sunsetting the DDA
Yeah,
in 31 or 32, I believe, but, we would need to make sure that we had those funds coming in to set aside that, we'd
Yes.
have to make sure that
Yeah.
we could pay that off in that timeline.
Good.
So it has been, we've been thinking about
Yep,
just
that's
those
good.
options. So
That's good.
just so you know.
Sounds good.
All right. Thank you, Mark.
You bet. Thank you, Chair.
and then it is also based upon the amount of dollars that can be collected. And a percentage thereof would be going back.
I would think on a project that might be valued close to, when it's done, $8 million, that the taxes would be considerable. Yeah, I don't see it being a small chunk of change like mine is compared to that. Yeah. Thank you very much. Is there any public comment on matters not on the agenda? No? Mary, do you have anything? Board chair report. Has anybody seen the Ron's building, the antique store painted? Has anybody seen that? No?
Absolutely, yes.
Anyway, we've noticed it. So that's, the only reason I bring that up is that's some of the first micro grant money that we've seen, actually, the fruit of it, like visible, and it really changes the look of the Main Street. Well, I was fortunate enough to help him. He asked me to put in a new door for him. And there is a couple of ladies that are local ladies that walked by, and she said, they didn't know who I was. And they said, we've seen a big difference on Main Street and it looks really pretty. And they like that. So that's great feedback to get from some people that were walking by doing a little shop that have lived here for a long time. So that's pretty good. I like hearing that. So anyway,
Are all of the projects underway?
you know,
Are
that I don't know.
Are there any?
I've been wondering that myself.
Yeah,
I do know that Pam Mikesell came to me and she says they're doing their patio and that they're gonna do a soft opening in that patio. I think the rain might be holding them up too, but they're doing a patio in the back. That was gonna start yesterday. And I know that's some of the micro grant money.
is there anything that the DDA maybe should have done or could do to cause the others to jumpstart and get moving forward? I don't know, permit requirements, that kind of stuff,
I haven't heard
the
any,
bureaucracy.
I haven't heard anybody coming to us yet
Okay.
complaining about that.
Yeah, just wondering.
You don't want us to do our jobs? I'm just kidding. Most of the projects are not going to require a permit. So it shouldn't be the city holding up any of the
Okay.
projects.
Yeah, unfortunately, our building season here in the mountains is
I know.
a little bit short and tough, yeah.
Yeah.
That's really,
And-
I think that's,
Flower baskets don't do well in the snow.
no. I don't really have much else. I'm just super excited to see that happening. So that's all I've really got. Does anybody else have anything well, the treasurer report is next.
Really don't have anything this month.
No treasurer report.
Nope.
Do you guys see the list of all the, on the back of the agenda, you see the list of all the approvals?
The grants.
There's 33 grants. And then, so Aaron, when will it come up to the city council about the, I think it was around $11,000 ask for the last two applicants? When might that come up?
So on first reading, it will be at this meeting. And then on final approval, it should be on June 19th, assuming that it's approved.
Okay,
There's that, so, and then there's also the $20,000 legal expense that we needed to correct. So there's two items on the next council meeting for the DDA.
okay,
And then going back to the treasurer's report, there will be two items. The attorney is working on the second reimbursement, TIF reimbursement for AJ's Pizza, because we did the 24, but not the 23. And then also the splitting of the Bergstrom study. So I think both of those will be on your next agenda.
okay. Thank you, Aaron.
Speaking of that, do you mind if
No,
can I,
please.
Aaron,
Please.
if I could ask you, how did the reimagining workshop go?
Yes, so we had our first open house. It was very well attended. I think we had at least 100 people
Oh,
there.
no kidding.
Yeah,
Okay.
it was pretty packed. The chair was there and several other people in the community. So we had quite a bit of turnout. I know there was a lot of news media there. But we're still working on the plans. The plans are definitely preliminary still in nature. So we have kind of a foundation as to giving vision so people can really imagine it, but we have not finalized the plans. We have our next advisory committee meeting today, and then I believe we're having another open house at the end of the month.
Awesome.
Yep.
Thank you. Yeah. It's exciting too.
It is. We hopefully can make a big impact over there.
I had a buddy text me the next morning, it's like, we saw you in the news, and it was Fox 21. Anyway, yeah, it was well attended. I'll give it that. And I did see a lot of sticky notes on a couple of the boards, a lot of ideas. Yeah,
And the community survey is open until June 4th. So we are getting, usually we get, 10 times almost the amount of feedback on that than we do at the public forum. So
thanks for, who hosted that? Who put that on?
it's the Park and Rec department and then Logan Simpson.
Yeah, they did a good job.
Yep.
Yeah,
Cindy's department always does a great job. Very fortunate.
yeah, good for you guys. Well done. Winding up, pal. Board member reports. Al, do you have anything?
I have nothing additional.
Nothing additional?
Melky, I'm good.
Yeah, Jones, I'm good too.
Nothing additional.
So just so you know, Al and I have 13 forms that we're gonna sign for people that have completed. I guess there was some forms that were sent out to the applicants that
Mhm.
needed to be signed and submitted, and so they have been, and Al and I will be signing those today. So, I believe that's it, Aaron, unless anybody else has anything to add.
Move to adjourn.
Adjourn. Thank you, everybody.